Hey, church family. Hey, I just wanted to, let me get my phone propped up here. Here we go. I wanted to talk about Lent. It's coming up here real soon. We're actually 2 days away. It begins on Ash Wednesday. It's actually Monday night when I'm recording this video. And just to kind of keep this out in front of us and challenge and encourage us to really go after it this year. Really going after. I'm issuing this year a 3-part challenge. We've been talking about this on Sunday, and a number of you have taken me up on that challenge. You're going to be joining me on this, and I encourage the rest of you to consider it. But anyway, I just want to kind of maybe put some videos on talking through some of the different pieces, and hopefully we can keep engaging on that. The first part of the challenge you talk about is reading through the book of Romans 7 times. But it's not just reading through the book of Romans 7 times. It's reading through the book of Romans, and at the end of each chapter, there's 16 chapters in Romans. At the end of each chapter, we stop and we ask the question, how did I see the gospel displayed there? Or what did I learn about what Jesus did through his death and resurrection, just in that particular chapter? And just, it doesn't have to be long, but we just go through and we answer that. The reason behind this being is that the way that you remember the way the angel on Christmas Day announced the arrival of the Christ child? He appears to the shepherds and he says, "Behold, I bring you good news of great joy, and it will be for all the people." And so whenever we think about Jesus and what he did, those two phrases, those two word pairs come together. Good news, great joy. That's the gospel. Good news, great joy. And see, guys, we're the Easter people. We are the Easter people. Hallelujah is our song. We have good news of great joy. And the reason we're doing this exercise of the book of Romans is that when we gather together on, whether it's Good Friday or Easter Sunday, I want us to gather together as people who are really, truly prepared to celebrate. And if you take this challenge of going through Romans 7 times over the course of 7 weeks, and you answer the question at the end of each chapter, how did I just see the gospel? You will have, by Easter Sunday, preach the gospel to yourself 112 different times. I think that's significant. 112 different reminders on this is what it was that Jesus did. This is what he did. And as much as you feel like you may know the gospel right now, as much as I think I know the gospel right now, I promise you it's better than any one of us thinks it is. If you took all of our collective understanding of it together, mash it together into one big pile, you know what we'd find? We'd find that it was even better than what we all came up with together. And so that's why I want to keep reading, because I want to see the gospel in a better way than I've ever seen it before. All right, now I want to show you. I started it this morning. Don't tell the pastor. I know Ash Wednesday is not till Wednesday, but I started this morning, and I just want to show you, maybe give an example of what it looks like when I did it, and you can make it your own and kind of do your thing with it here. But this is how I did it here. So I'm going to flip it around so you can see my Bible. All right. So started reading the Bible. I went through two chapters this morning during my quiet time with a colored pencil. And as I'm reading, if something stood out to me, I would just underline it. All right. And then I got to the end of chapter 1. And at the end of chapter 1, I came over and asked the question, or I looked for what was my favorite thought, which in this instance, it actually came right here from verse 4. All right. And so then I came over to my journal, which here's my journal. 7 times through Romans. Here's my first time. I get to chapter 1. My favorite verse was verse 4. I would write out the portion of the verse that stood out to me. Really like those 2 words, in power. And then I would write, what do I got here? I think I have 2 sentences, maybe 3. There, just keeping it pretty simple. But this is what I learned about the gospel. Chapter 2, same thing. Highlighted a bunch of verses. Interestingly enough, it was verse 4 again. It stood out to me. Wrote out verse 4, and then I wrote 2, 3, 4 sentences, whatever it is I got here on that there, to just help me reflect and process what it was that I just learned. And then I'm going to keep doing that for the duration of the week and get through all 16 chapters of Romans. And then next Monday, I'll start it again. And I'll go through the 16 chapters again. And I'll keep doing that for 7 weeks, 7 times through the book of Romans. 112 times I preach the gospel to myself. So that come Good Friday, oh man, am I ready for good news there? So anyway, all right. Blessings on you all. If you have questions about this, holler. If you, like, as you're discovering things, I would love it if you messaged me, text me, email me, whatever it is, Facebook message me, whatever you got for communicating what it is you're learning. I would love to hear it. And I'd love to process it with you and talk it through with you there. So, all right. Hey, have a good Lent. We'll talk to you later.